and I guess I'm a bit of the ringleader of this. It was sort of my passion and my interest in writing, and especially in this genre, to see if there was others in the neighborhood, in the area, that would like to get together. And I would like to very much thank, though she's not here, Mary and the library staff. Paddle tennis lessons will be Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Carol will be playing at 8:30. Joe, we're playing at 12, at 1:30, I think, or 2:30. I make a kid, but on this side of the table is many of the people that I teach tennis with and paddle tennis with. So would like to thank them and see them and see if I do this a little bit better than teaching forehands and backhands. But let me just introduce everybody else here. As Van and Stephen know, Carol and the rest of the group, I can talk a little bit, so I will not try to talk as much. Van Wallach here, and Van, why don't you say a couple of words and briefly introduce? Sure. Van has a much more interesting life than mine.
Everybody's life is interesting, and that's what gives us something. You can always find something about it to write about. So yeah, I'm Van Wallach. I live here in Katona. I'm a native of Mission, Texas, on the Texas-Mexico border, which was growing up there was inspiration for what I've been working on in the class. I'm actually a professional writer. I'm not qualified to do anything else in life. Used to be a journalist like Richard, writing more about business, then got laid off for a final time and went into corporate communications, primarily for professional services firms, especially accounting firms. So I'm now a proposal writer, but I do a lot of other kinds of writing. I always wanted to try to write a mystery. I actually had a title for a thriller or mystery, but no book to go with it. So this gave me an opportunity to start writing the book I'd always dreamed of. And after I wrote for a while, I realized the title did not really describe what I was writing. So I've had to come up with multiple titles. Don't even know what I call it now, but you know, it's been tremendously rewarding. I've written hundreds of pages and then started to rewrite and rewrite again. The funny thing is, even though I haven't completed it, I've actually done spin-off stories based on the characters in it, where each one gets their own kind of adventure, ranging from a short story of 2,500 words to a 250 word piece. So I haven't reached the publication stage like Richard, but I have been able to make use of what I've written. So happy to talk and hear what y'all are interested in.
I'm just going to introduce Stephen in just a moment. Of all the characters that Van has written and many of the things, there is no butler. There is no butler. We will get to the butler, Joel. We will, butler won't. Joel wants the butler to have been the bad guy. Stephen Parker has been with us, one of our charter members of the group, and the real beauty of the group, and we're missing one other writing member, Andrea Colby, who was a classmate of mine from White Plains High School, who lives in Jersey, and she couldn't make it here. And Lynn, Lynn Sama, who has not written a word for 4 years, but she's taught a lot and has been a wonderful member. But the beauty of the group has been that we're all come from the writing from different perspectives, and that's one of the things we'll just briefly talk about when we get started here. But Van's background is totally different from mine and his perspective on what he wants to write or is looking to write, and Stephen is just out of this world, his perspective. But that's the beauty of the group. Stephen, why don't you say just a couple of words of introduction?
Okay, I am a resident of Katona as well, and my career has had nothing to do with writing at all. I've been basically jewelry designer and toy designer in my various checkered past. And some years ago, I had an idea for a piece to commemorate my experiences in Egypt, and I developed a concept for a piece, and at the same time I thought it really needed a backstory. So I wrote a backstory to go along with this somewhat complicated artifact that I made, and that was the beginning of my series of fraudulent archaeological artifacts. After the second one, I had an idea for the third, and I said, I really need some guidance or help in writing my story. And then all of a sudden, my wife's tennis pro put up a notice in the library that he's leading a group in writing mysteries. So I said, okay, I'm in. And that's, so far, I have to admit, I've written, I believe, 3 complete backgrounds to my ideas for artifacts. And I strive to keep them to 10 pages long. But these guys, they keep telling me I have to write more, and they're like up to 20 pages for a complete story. You know, it's gotten long. Okay, anyway, that's me.
Stephen is being pretty humble. They're not background. They're the most interesting and creative stories, and he's developed what we like to call, or I've called, a lovable rogue. He's not a good guy, but he's lovable. He'll rob you blind if he can, and quite a womanizer as well. But Dr. Striever and Stephen has been able to keep that character going now through 3 or 4 stories. These are not background. They're legitimate 30-page, 40-page stories that have taken us around the world. So I think where I want to start is, how do you get started? I always think that people say if they want to write, you know,